Okay, so welcome everyone to another Wellness Wednesday webinar. And today I'm super excited because this is a topic that I get asked about a lot, a lot, right? And so we are like some of the things, and this is a thing that I actually struggle with as well. And so I'm super excited to dive right into it. My name is Sequoia Ashe Taylor, and I'm the CEO and founder of Ashe Wellness. And this is a part of our weekly webinars that we're doing to help with health literacy, right? And so each week we're doing different topics, and I'm having my plethora of wellness friends come join me to talk about different things. And so tonight we're going to be talking about supplementation. And like I said, I get asked about this all the time. This is an issue that I have dealt with in the past because there's so many like lotion, potions, pills. There's so many options. There's so many companies that sell supplements. And so you're always wondering like, what is the best quality? How much should I be paying for them? What are like supplements? Why should I be taking them? All those things come into play because we're inundated with so much information. And so luckily tonight we have someone who is well versed in this topic. She is a fellow FDN of mine and becoming a great friend. And so I have to get so much knowledge from her about this topic. And so we're going to have her join us today, Miss Sarah Katie, in regards to talking about supplements. So welcome, Sarah. And please let everyone know a little bit about yourself and we'll get started.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for having me, Sequoia. This is a nice treat. As you said, I am an FDNP like yourself, but I have been kind of on the other side of things. Instead of coaching clients directly, I've actually been coaching other healthcare practitioners for the past 21 years as a lifestyle and functional medicine consultant. So I've been helping healthcare practitioners incorporate the things that we're doing as FDNPs, incorporating lifestyle programming and incorporating nutraceuticals and supplementation to help kind of round out the care that they are providing. So now I get to do it on both ends of the spectrum, which is kind of nice.
Super cool. So I know the main thing that people, and this may seem like a crazy question, right? But what are supplements? Like, I know there's so many different things on the market, but what do you classify a supplement as? Like, what is a supplement to you?
So I think there's like kind of that general umbrella term of supplements, and that could be any type of vitamin or herbal, anything that you are taking that's natural to kind of, help support your overall health. And then there's this word called nutraceutical, which we know, but I don't know if it's a really commonly used term. And so to me, nutraceutical is just, it's the easiest way to define that is that it's a natural alternative to a pharmaceutical drug. And so in that supplement realm, nutraceuticals tend to have a more targeted physiological effect on the body than maybe just a standard supplement like a multivitamin. So it's that supplement name is kind of all encompassing, but it's a growing industry. It's a $35 billion plus industry. So we know people are taking them, but I think there's somewhat of a learning curve in terms of quality as you are aware, and what should people be taking. I think there's a lot of guesswork that we can help with.
Right. And so I know that there are a lot of things that are like for people who are coming in, and we have a couple people joining us. Welcome. I know for me that supplement gamut, like you said, I have heard like supplement teas, supplement, pills, supplements for multivitamins, supplements for eradicating something, supplements for everyday health. And so what would you say is the a major way or a way that people can differentiate the two? Because I know you said like nutraceuticals, which is a targeted thing, which we know that word, and that's a word that I think for me I am going to be better about using, because supplements could be the Flintstones that you buy over the counter, right?
Yeah, right.
We're going to dive into that a little bit more in a little bit, but it could be so many different things that it's just crazy, right? And so I think that's one of the main things about knowing the difference. So when we're talking about that in the realm of supplements, I heard herbal supplements, tea supplements, like some people even call, like we have people who are joining who are like in the essential oil world, and they have those type of supplements and things of that nature. So what is it that you feel is the difference, and why is it important that we take supplements in the realm of, should I say, nutraceuticals? Why is it important that
Mhm.
we take them?
And I think there are two different reasons. So if we're talking about general supplements and what I consider, those things that I consider a foundation, supporting overall health. And I like five things to support general health: a multivitamin, and even the Journal of the American Medical Association for years now has agreed that everybody should be at least taking a multivitamin. So that's kind of a good place to start. Things like that, fish oils, because we know that so many people are deficient in omega-3 fatty acids, a probiotic, and that alone is a huge emerging field and so big of a learning curve with what kinds of probiotics. That could be a topic a whole night by itself,
Right,
Sequoia.
right.
So multivitamin, fish oils, a probiotic for gut health, vitamin D, especially now that we're coming into the winter months, and then plant antioxidants, because so many are not eating enough plants, enough fruits and vegetables, not getting enough antioxidants. So just those things are kind of what I consider like the Fab Five foundation. And we need those because it's very commonly known in the literature that soil is depleted, foods do not contain the nutrients that we hope or assume they do or they once did. Add to that, to the fact that so many people, especially in this country, are eating that standard American diet, which is devoid of the nutrients that we need. Add to that the stresses of life,
Right.
and stress, whether it be emotional external stress or what I call internal or metabolic stress. Stress depletes nutrients. So many of us are walking around nutrient depleted. So we need supplements to kind of fill those gaps. On the nutraceutical side, that more kind of targeted physiological effect that we're trying to get, I feel is exceptionally beneficial for people who are struggling with chronic health issues. Not that nutraceuticals can't be used on a daily basis for general wellness, but so many of us are struggling with symptoms, and we see it in our practice every day. People coming to us really stressed out, metabolic, otherwise, and so they're kind of in that crevice where their symptoms are letting them know and letting us know as practitioners that their organ systems are struggling. And so those targeted nutraceuticals can actually help catapult them and push them into that restoration program and kind of help see them from point A to point B a lot faster. So that's, kind of two different reasons to use a supplement and a nutraceutical.
I wholeheartedly agree, because we know my main thing is, the people who are my audience know that is my jug about talking about that everything is a stressor, right? It's either like from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, we always talk about their stressors. And so I think like you said, the conversation and education comes from what is the difference between a true supplement and what type of supplement, right? And then you start talking about nutraceuticals, because for me it was a learning curve, because I said, okay, well, we'll use a nutraceutical for something like a gut bug eradication, or we're getting rid of candida, or we're getting we're supporting the adrenals, right? Or we're supporting those things. So even in our protocols that we create, and then like the lifestyle stuff was a supplement. But even once we start talking about different supplements, I realized that the quality of certain supplements was not the same, right? So I could get I jokingly say this, that it could be a supplement from like the Flintstones, right? It could be a Flintstone vitamin across the counter, or I hate to say it, but certain companies that we get. What is a way that I guess you could say people can tell the difference, or the difference between an over-counter supplement or a quality supplement? Because I tell people that they're getting like expensive urine, or they're paying for like expensive pee, like when they're doing that, because a lot of times we know when we're taking certain supplements, if your body is not digesting them, then when you're using the bathroom, when you're peeing or you're pooping, it's coming out. So you like wasting money. So I'm like, you're paying for expensive urine because your body is not absorbing what you're taking. So I guess the question is, what is the difference, or what is a way to tell the difference of a quality supplement versus something over the counter or some of the stuff that people are selling on the shelves or certain companies are selling?
So here's kind of the scary answer to that question. You can't. I
Mm,
mean, and this is a huge deal.
right.
And first it's the education on why using nutraceuticals, right? So it's the understanding of why to do it. And I always like to say it's the difference between taking a horse and buggy from point A to point B or a motor vehicle,
Right.
right? It's gonna help get you healed faster. But then it is that whole issue of quality, and it is not a very regulated industry, which is kind of a mixed bag. It's good, bad, and neutral. But because it's not regulated, you don't know what is in that product.
Right.
You don't have access to those companies and to their quality control and quality assurance practices
Mm,
when you are taking something off the shelf or you are ordering off of Amazon. You also don't know, especially if you're ordering off of Amazon, how the products have been stored. Um, are they, have they been kept in conditions that are going to make them kind of accelerate their age faster? You have no idea. And so that is, there's a little bit of trust issue when you are working with certain companies. And you and I, as practitioners, choose to only work with companies that you have access to the research
right.
and to the studies. So there have been studies done on products taken off the shelves from places we all go to on a very regular basis. And they have found that there were one study was they just looked at 3 supplements, and then another study in particular that I'm thinking of looked at hundreds of supplements. And in the very small study, 2 of the supplements had none of the actives. So there are a couple of things that we need to be concerned about when we are putting anything in our bodies, supplements included, nutraceuticals included. We want to make sure that there aren't any harmful substances in there.
Mhm.
We also want to, impurities, heavy metals, molds, etc. And then we want to make sure that there are no synthetics. And again, who knows how many people out there know what a synthetic vitamin is on the label?
Right.
Not me, right?
Right.
That's not their language. So, and then, the third thing is you want to make sure that what the label says is in the product is actually in the product.
Mhm.
This sounds like no-brainer stuff, right? Just, and I'm a trusting person. I would trust that all of those things are happening with products on the shelves at GNC or Target or Walgreens, Costco, etc. It's not the case.
Right.
They have looked at products where the actives were not in the product. And to me, that's the most expensive product, right? I don't care how much it costs. If what I'm supposed to be getting is not in there, that's an expensive product,
Right.
right? And so they've also looked at products where they have found unidentifiable chemicals in them, which could be considered a health hazard. 776 supplements were looked at, and they all had traces of pharmaceuticals in them.
Mm,
That's also not ideal.
right. Right.
So, it's we want to be recommending things that are safe for our clients and that are effective. And so, unfortunately, it is not an easy task for someone to go pick a supplement. And so that's why we always recommend that people work through a healthcare practitioner with a company who only works with healthcare practitioners. And we have access literally to the assays or the quality studies that these companies are doing to know that our products are safe and that they are effective and they're containing the ingredients that they are saying they have on the label.
Right. And so we have a couple people who have joined us. So wanted to welcome you guys. If you guys have any questions, please do put them in the chat and we will answer them shortly. And so thank you so much for joining. But again, we're talking about supplements. And so if you have any questions about them, please do ask. I guess my next question would be is, I get this a lot. I get the supplement question of like what I should be taking on a daily. So of course it's right now it's should I be doing extra vitamin C? Should I be doing extra vitamin D? And then it's the multivitamin like you said, or the omega. So we have those basic things that you're telling people you should just basically do, because
Yeah.
everyone is walking around with a vitamin, mineral, and amino acid deficiency, right? And so there are basic things that you, like you said earlier, that you should do that are staple. And then there are certain things that for certain situations you would do, like we said, a candida thing or a gut bug thing, or adrenal thing or something like that. But then people, I also get, because I've taught them or they've heard somewhere about the using like expensive urine because the pills they're not absorbing. I have clients who ask me about using liquid vitamins or liquid supplements, and how like someone even sent me a study, and I'm like, this is kind of biased, this is kind of skewed, because I don't know if you're testing quality products versus the stuff across the counter that has stuff in it versus a liquid will always win, right? So it's kind of biased. I read it because I like to have, we just with us, we have to know all those ends. And so the question is there one that's better? Is it better to supplement with pills? Is it better to supplement with liquid supplements? Even I've seen patches now. People supplement with vitamins and stuff, aminos and stuff via a patch. So is there one that's better than the other as far as and I think the reason why that's important is because of the absorption. Is your body going to actually absorb it? Now that goes deeper, because if you have a problem with digestion and methylation of these things, that's a whole nother conversation. But on general nature, um, is there one that's better than the other?
Maybe, and kind of. So you touched on it. Let's assume, well, you touched on it. If we have a really inferior product with a lot of fillers and what are called excipients, things that kind of hold tablets together, not so much capsules. So we got tablets, we have capsules, we have liquids. So if we're using a supplement that has those binders in it that do not break down, then the liquid version of that product would be better. Gotcha. Because fillers and excipients aren't in there. I don't know if it rhymes with Schmentrum. So product.
This is my platform. You can say it. You can say it now. I'm just joking. I get it.
I have heard this from so many of my chiropractic clients where they have seen in x-rays whole tablets in the digestive tract of their patient.
Oh, I've seen them too, because as a surgical technician, I've seen whole people like that. That's why they have you only take certain stuff beforehand. But I've done surgeries where we're looking at people's stomach or the gut, and you actually see pills. So you're like, okay, well, I thought we told them not to take the medicine. They're like, I didn't. I haven't taken that since 7 days before the surgery or 10 days before the surgery, and you find it in their gut. So I've actually seen that with my own eyes, and it's crazy because you're like, well, it's not digesting it, or it did come out in the poop, or it just makes you wonder. So that's definitely true where you can see that stuff in still whole form.
Yes.
In whole form. So, yeah.
You think that's doing any benefit? Of course not.
Right, right.
So assuming that we are talking about high quality supplements, there really may not be any difference in terms of absorption unless, as you said, the client themselves has an absorption issue, a digestive issue. Then the best thing, the most absorbable form would be what's called a liposomal. It's kind of like a liquid that you would hold under your tongue so that it starts absorbing right away in your mucous membranes in your mouth. Doesn't have to go through the digestive system. But besides that, if you're looking at high quality, there should be really no difference between a tablet, a capsule, a liquid, or a powder. For me, it becomes about client preference. Yeah. Which one are you going to take?
Right. Because I've had clients who are like on homeo, like they want to do more homeopathy, and so we'll use a spray because of what you just said, that they spray under the tongue, it's quick absorption to the body. They're not having to swallow pills. I didn't know that there were millions of people who could not swallow pills. So again, it becomes client preference and things of that nature. So definitely true. In the chat, we have a question, and I can answer this for you, but we'll also get Sarah's question answer as well. Are nutraceuticals effective for brain fog and memory function? Now I'm going to say yes, Well, I like her part answers, yes and no. The reason why it's an automatic yes for me is because of what my niche is, right? And so when you start saying stuff like memory fault, memory function, and brain fog, of course I'm gonna start saying, look, let's do some figure this out. Like, you need to contact me so we can find out exactly what is causing the memory function and brain fog. Because immediately, my mind is saying, okay, let's look at that stress and hormone panel, let's order Dutch, and let's see what's going on, right? And so in that case, yes, it could be as simple as lifestyle changes and taking certain supplements that you would be able to take. But then if it's on another level where that system actually needs to be supported because it's fatigued or anything like that, then yes, nutraceuticals would be the route that I personally would take, because it is something that's targeted, like she said earlier, that's targeted to taking care of a certain issue. So once we define what is causing those things, so brain fog and memory function, yes, it gives me an aha to say look further, but I can generalize. But once we determine what that is, then yes, it would definitely be saying, hey, let's use a nutraceutical to take care of that, to give your body support. Because at that point, it becomes a support issue. It becomes something that you can support. Sarah, do you have any other?
Completely agree with that. And I get questions all the time from my healthcare practitioner clients.
Mm-hmm.
I just had one come in right before this call. I have a client struggling with gut health. It could be whatever, brain fog, gut health, sleep problems,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Do we have something for brain fog? Yeah, maybe, but it depends on what the brain fog is from,
Mm-hmm.
right? As you said, is it a hormonal issue? Is it a stress issue? Is it gut bugs? Brain fog can be due to so many things. And so our job is to help our clients find out the what and the why.
Right.
Then we get to the
right.
And what within the how, and how to address it, how to balance everything out. Yep.
Right. And so I think that's one of the things that happened for me, because when I was in that whole guessing phase, someone could contact me and say, hey, and I get this all the time. Hey, I have inflammation. Hey, I'm having problems with losing weight. Hey, I'm having problems with this. And I would say, oh, well, you could try this or try that. And that's the part I think that gets people frustrated, even with supplements or nutraceuticals, or understand the difference between all of them, is that they're trying these things, right? And so they may feel a little better for a little bit, but then you don't know why you're taking them. What is it causing? So like you said, brain fog could be for several different things. Memory function could be for several different things, right? But as a practitioner, if I'm doing certain things that are going to help you in that way, it's like, okay, yes, we see that it's this. So now we will get something that's targeted to help that specific thing. And I think that's the difference, that where people are going into now, they're tired of the guessing. They're tired of, trying to figure it out. So yes, the quality of what the supplement that you're using. I mean, I know how to do that same thing with essential oils. I know how to do the same thing with herbs. I know how to do the same thing, so all of those could be supplements, right? And so knowing the quality, yes, but then also knowing why we're doing it's also very key. Like, find out why something. And so it's very so even so, like a hormonal thing is definitely something. Didn't I say those adrenals? She's narrowed it down for us. So when you start talking about like a hormonal thing at a certain age, then that's like, oh, are we perimenopausal? Are we postmenopausal? Are we, so then we start to narrow those things down, and we're able to target those things so you have better results and you're not guessing about those things, right? So then it's not only the supplement that we take, because some people will jump to a supplement. What if it's certain things, that lifestyle that we do, right? So the supplement is a part of our protocol, but it's not the only thing. Like, oh, okay, those supplements, but also because of the hormonal thing, I'm gonna need you not to eat this. We're gonna work on food for this. I'm gonna need you to make sure you go to sleep with this. What is your cortisol looking like at the nighttime or the morning time? Looking at that whole big picture so that we can tell you exactly where, when, and how. And the supplements are a great process for it. And I do believe that it's definitely needed. And so it was a area that I think I kind of even fall. I've been saying that. I picked up on that would be adrenal. She said adrenal fatigue, perimenopause, and memory decline since 40. Yeah. So that would definitely be something that is a support. So yes, a nutraceutical would be where I would go first. It would be, oh, okay, well, we have certain products that are nutraceuticals, like she said, that we have access to as practitioners, that support exactly the adrenals, that support the adrenal fatigue in this menopausal phase, right? And then, or hey, I'm having, so you are able to target it once you know what it is. You're able to target it with those actual nutraceuticals. So once you drill it down, it's drilling down the product. And so definitely get with me, and we definitely can look that stuff up for you, and we can connect in that way. But
to more specifically, or simply answer your question, yes, there are nutraceuticals kind of geared toward brain health. and cognitive function and memory. But like Sequoia said, if we just go right there first and think, oh, it's a brain issue, we might be missing
Right.
real underlying causes as to why the brain fog and the memory is happening. So those things might be beneficial and appropriate, but also might be needed less if we find out the underlying causes of the brain fog.
Right.
And, the whole perimenopausal and menopausal picture, I think, is such a big one because there's been such a disservice, and I don't know who's doing the disservice, but we kind of also do it to each other. We kind of perpetuate this whole notion that getting older is the pits. And getting older and going through perimenopause and menopause just, has all of this crud and all of these symptoms associated with it. And that's really not how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Menopause just literally means no more period.
Period. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I mean,
right. So, and so that means like no children and stuff like that. And I think you're right. I think and that's why it's part of the reason why I help women. And then as we get to these little specific cases, that people come to me and they give me those, like I was saying earlier, the general statements. Hey, I have information. Hey, I have this. And I'm like, I can't give you, or I can, but I won't. As a practitioner, knowing what I know now, I won't give you a general thing. If you do not allow me to go deeper, if you do not allow me to find out why that's happening, then yes, I could be the other 500 people that could be out there that says, hey, try this tea, try this pill, try this lotion, try this potion, try this patch, try this, this spray. But why? When you're going to go and the next month, you're going to say, yeah, I spent money on that. And what else is next? Instead of saying, I felt a difference. Maybe I need to take 2 of these, because people don't understand that even when you're doing supplements, sequencing and titration is important. Right. And if you're taking all these different type of supplements, all these type of pills, and this is a whole nother conversation in itself, because that you don't know what is causing the effect. So if I say, hey, take this adrenal fatigue supplement and load you up with something else with memory fog and you're taking all these supplements, when something happens, you don't know which one it was. So maybe it's starting this supplement now, and then you go to 2, you may take 2 today, and you say, well, I felt it great until 2:00 and I had a crash. Okay, well, maybe we need to go to 3, and maybe, or you took 4 and you need to come down to 2. So even that in itself, people don't understand. That is a big part, I think, is a disservice with the supplementation, because on the bottle it says take 2 of these 2 times a day, or take 2 in the morning with a meal. And you're not understanding that I'm supposed to be taking all these different things. And then when it's time for me to back off of it, I don't know what caused the issue. I don't know if it was the multivitamin, if it was omega. Do I need to take 2 more of the omegas and 1 less of the? You don't know that unless you're actually taking the time to what is actually called sequencing and titrating your supplements. And I've learned that to be important as well. Like when we start a protocol, it's not going to be something that I'm like, hey, take 5 of these things at one time. And then you're going to say, well, I had a crash at 2:00. I'm going to say, well, which one did it? And you're going to like, I don't know. You won't know because it was everything at once. So it's a little bit more that goes into supplementation than just choosing the right supplement. That's the key thing. And like she said, it's kind of at this point very, very hard to find quality supplements and how you are supposed to take them, and then what is it supposed to be for, and when should I be taking them. And then on top of that, then you're going to know when you're supposed to take them and how many of which one. And hey, I need to take vitamin C, but because I was predisposed at this at birth, I don't methylate this, so I need to take more vitamin C. And then this time of the year, I need to take less vitamin C. All those things go into play. And so I think the disservice is to everyone is that the education on supplements is not there. It's not there to be able to teach you those things, to say, yeah, they say I should take 1,000 IUs or 10,000 IUs of vitamin C. Well, for how long? Every day, just take it every day. And you're like, okay. And then you wonder why, later down the line is an issue or you're not having the effect. So those are the things that I think I see more now with supplements, and now that I understand them a little bit better, that it's not just only the quality of the supplement, it's how you're taking them, when you're taking them, and what you're taking them for.
Yeah. And we are advocates, obviously, for investing in our health. We want our clients to invest in their health in every sort of the way. I mean, that means financially investing, but also, of course, time and effort. And so when we are recommending supplementation and they're investing their finances on things that we believe in, we want them to be of the best quality so that they are not wasting their investment. We want them to be utilized, these nutraceuticals, to, like I said, help them get catapulted quicker into their restoration and rebuilding. And so we have to make sure that they are of the best quality. We
Right.
can't harm, with the unknown of just recommending supplements off the shelf or wherever they might get them. That's too risky for me. I won't do that.
Right. And I feel for me, I'm thinking to myself, if I'm telling my clients to stop to stop guessing and test, then why I'm going to keep you guessing and trying with your supplements? Like, to me, that just was like, wait, what? Like, oh, I have information, so I'm just going to take this turmeric pill. I'm thinking to myself, like, you have information in your shoulder. That's totally different than the information of the gut. But you say inflammation. So those are two different types of supplements that you will be taking for different reasons, right? And so I think that's another thing too, that people want they give you this general thing. And because they're used to just getting general stuff, they don't understand the concept of saying, hey, yeah, I won't do it. I can do it, but I won't subject you to the trying anymore, at least as we can. Like, I know we can't perfect this thing and get it down to the science. I wish we could, and I'm going to do my best to get close. But, knowing how to do that in such a way where, like you said, we're not doing a lot of that trying and guessing, and you get the quality, why you're taking something for this actual circumstance or reason, and then with the quality and when you should be taking it, I think it calls for you to have better outcomes. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in. If you have any more questions, we have a couple more minutes with Miss Sarah. And Miss Sarah, while we were waiting on people to ask questions if they have them, do you have any tips or secrets or suggestions for our guests who are watching or who will be watching as well, in regards to their supplementation? It could be a product recommendation. It could be use a nutraceutical versus this. Do you have any tips or anything for our guests?
I mean, in terms of what things they should be taking, or
I guess it would be overall, what would be some of your, do you have any other, I know you talked about this like throughout the chat, but do you have any other like tips or things that people should maybe be aware of, or that can help make that process easier when you're making supplementation choices?
I really think that anytime you can work with a healthcare practitioner, and there are a lot of chiropractors too, actually, acupuncturists, certainly, FDNPs like ourselves work through a healthcare practitioner to get your supplements and nutraceuticals. That is just my absolute recommendation. I mean, just in terms of quality, and sometimes it's also about concentration of product, to make sure something is really concentrated and therapeutic in what you're using. That's my general recommendation in terms of quality. Just don't go picking something off the shelf kind of willy-nilly.
I 100% agree. I also would throw in there that, seeking someone else who can help you with the quality of that is just making sure that we're taking the right supplements for the right things and not being so general in nature and getting to the root cause of what is going on. Because like we said, a lot of those things that people throw out as far as diagnosis or symptoms, we're like, okay, and we know of only one diagnosis that matters, right? And so we are going to go in and show you and make sure that we're doing that. So my recommendation, like she said, is to work with someone who is able to assist you to go a little bit deeper and not just do that surface level things. Because if you take care of the surface level thing, trust me, on an energy level, I mean, we didn't even go into the part about energy levels, call this stuff, and we touched on a little bit as far as being able to actually digest the stuff that you're taking. So some people may take a supplement and not be able to digest it because it could be based off your DNA, it could be based off an environmental thing, it could be off some food causing that. So it's so many different things that go into it that is not going to be a one and done thing. And so if I had any advice, is to kind of change that mindset of that I can take this thing and it will take care of this thing. I promise you, I have not found a case where it doesn't go deeper than that. oh, I'm taking a multivitamin. Yes, that's great, but why are you taking it? Oh, because I'm deficient in minerals, vitamins, amino acids. Okay, but then how much of that should you take, and why should you take it, and when should you take it? So it goes deeper, even on the basic level of like taking fish oil. Those things, just to educate yourself by working with someone who can do so, about not only the quality about your supplements, about when and why and where you're taking them. So I don't see any other questions. If you guys need to reach out to us, please do reach out to us. Miss Sarah, could you tell people where they can reach out to you at?
Sure. You want me to put it in the chat? I'll put
Well, you
that
can say it because it's recorded too.
Okay, I'll do that. I have, my email is sarahkatiefdnp @gmail.com. That's SARAHCADYFDNP @gmail.
Awesome sauce. And so you guys know you can reach me at Ashe Wellness on our Facebook page. You also can inbox us. Some of you guys are watching in the community, so make sure that you're connecting with us. If you need to set up the actual consult, someone is going to get pulled. Their name is going to get pulled. They're going to actually win a free scan from us that is going to be able to assist us in helping you do that deeper dive about finding out those nutraceuticals that Sarah was talking about. So finding out, what areas of your body need support, and then we can narrow it down to which nutraceuticals you should be taking. So someone's going to win one of those. So for joining, we thank you guys so much for tuning in. And so somebody's going to win one of those scans to give us a better idea about what we should be doing. So you'll be talking to me, and then I'll be calling Sarah and say, hey, what your thoughts on this? And then getting the scan, and then it gives us a deeper dive as to where we should go, and then that makes it easier for us to get those nutraceuticals that we were talking about. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Miss Sarah, for coming in and giving your great and amazing expertise on this topic. You guys, I keep telling you guys that I have a plethora of health and wellness friends because this helps me, so I don't have to know all this stuff. And so anytime I have questions about the supplements, or hey, what do you think about this, she is definitely my go-to for that. And so I'm deeply thankful for you being in our world over in Ashe land. And we look forward to talking to you guys again. If you have any questions, if you're watching a replay of this, please put #replay. And if you also see this, please do share this, because this is information that we know someone in our world, if it's not yourself, that needs this information. So definitely share this information, and we look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Remember, every Wednesday until I can promise you guys to at least November, we're going to be doing these Wellness Wednesday webinars that are going to be talking about things to help you with your health literacy. And so each week is a different topic. I'm going to bring on one of my amazing health and wellness friends to do that and help us get more educated on things to make our wellness journey better. So thanks again, Sarah, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Ashe, you guys have a great rest of your evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.